What's up, y'all? This is Craig Schuster with episode 7 of the Goodnight Junior Songwriter series. If you don't have Goodnight Junior by Craig Schuster, you can get it at iTunes, Amazon, and CD Baby, and follow along. These are the stories of how these songs were written and recorded. Many people will deny that they were there, but the 4 people I talked to on the phone today were recorded. So we're going to talk to all the members of my old band Stout about Jalapeno Cornbread and what the song means and how I wrote it. But first I'm going to play the song and then we'll let them explain and then I'll correct them. So I have Dr. Matthew Oliver all the way from Georgia to answer a few questions about jalapeno cornbread. How you doing, Matt?
All right, man. Doctor, huh? You calling me doctor?
I mean, that's your name, right?
Bebop, a PhD in swing?
There you go. Well, the first question I have is, do you remember when Jalapeno Cornbread was debuted? Can you guess the date?
I would guess 2003, but that may not be right. It may be earlier than that.
You would be close. It was a little bit earlier. It was right before we did the On the Rocks album, and we weren't ready to record Jalapeno Cornbread, I don't think, when we did that album, because it should have been on there.
Yeah. So it was one of the earlier songs that we had written after the stock of songs that went on to On the Rocks. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So the other question is, do you remember what it was about or what the story behind it was?
I do not. There's always a story. There's always a story behind your songs. I think one of the things about that song that everybody loved about it was that it was easy to understand. It was visceral, just jalapeno cornbread. That's like something that if you grew up in the South, everybody understands that.
Which I didn't.
I was just going to say, whenever I was writing lyrics and I don't want to speak for Robert, but my impression of his lyrics that he always wrote was that there was always something, metaphorical or allegorical about it. It was always, there's some deeper meaning or some, weird thing like that. But with that song, there's no deeper meaning. It's just about jalapeno cornbread, and it's just easy and fun to get down to. And I think that's one of the things that everybody remembered about it and loved about it. So.
Well, I'm going to check with the other 3 members of Stout and see what their story is as far as what the deeper meaning might be. I'm sure with the unopinionated wallflowers that made up our band, we don't have any other stories, but I'll try to get some, man. I appreciate you taking a call today.
Hey.
This way. All right, so I got Rory Gardner on the phone right now. He's going to clean it up so that we can get a recording that'll go on YouTube and Facebook. And the first question I got for you, Rory, is do you know when Jalapeno Cornbread was debuted by Stout?
The first show?
Any guess?
No. Maybe the CD release party?
No, it was actually right before we went into the studio. It was a full moon club after party after widespread panic. And we probably didn't play it right.
It's that old. All
yep.
Right. All right.
2002, the end of 2002, right before we did the record. And we were not ready to record it on the record, but it should have been on there, my opinion. But my real question is, do you know what Jalapeno Cornbread is about or why I wrote it or any memory of that? Its origin.
So, if I remember correctly, I think you took a trip to your parents' house and came back and kind of had the idea for Jalapeno Cornbread shortly thereafter. Just, you go back and you try to get into the bed that you grew up in, and your feet are hanging off, and you're trying to get your girlfriend in that bed, and it's not quite working out.
I love it.
I want to say that was what it was all about. Am I right?
I don't think it's true, but I like your story. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Our manager and benefactor, James J.D. Dehart, had got us hooked up with legendary folk brother Jack Ashford, who had moved to Bartlett, Tennessee at the time. And he and one of his buddies came to see us at Brookhaven Pub, actually. And we were playing outdoors at Brookhaven Pub, and we ended the first set with that. And I remember walking over and talking with him and him saying, "What was the name of that last song you played?" It was like, "Oh yeah, that's Jalapeno Cornbread." And he loved it. He thought that could be a hit if given the right attention to it.
We're still working on that being a hit.
Right.
Maybe if he would have played tambourine on it, we could have gotten it a hit.
Had we asked him to come over and record, we might have gotten a little bit more play on it.
Maybe so. I like that story too. I'm going to put both on there. And then you'll have to find out tomorrow night what the truth is.
Robert Tatum.
How's it going, Robert? It's Craig Schuster.
It's going great, Craig Schuster. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm just calling all the old Stout guys to find out who remembers what about this week's song, Jalapeno Cornbread, which we used to play back in the day. Do you remember how long ago that was? Do you remember, you got any clue what the date might have been, the year might have been on that song?
I would like to say 2002.
Aha, correct. You are correct. It was right before we went into the studio at the end of 2002. So that was the easy question. The hard question is, do you remember what it was about, why it was written, what it means, anything like that?
Well, when you bring it up that way, I would say the harder question is, why didn't we put it on that album?
Well, we weren't ready and we didn't know the crowd would like it so much.
Right.
That's how I remember it.
To the best of my recollection, which is about as fuzzy as everybody in that band, I tend to remember that you seem to be pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Attracted to the overall Southern lifestyle, and was a huge fan of the actual physical entity, Jalapeno Cornbread.
I do like it.
If there was a deeper meaning than that, other than fully representing the South as much as you wanted to, and your love of jalapenos and jalapeno cornbread, because they are two separate things, and you do enjoy both of them.
That is true.
That's about as far, or as in, that's as much as I've analyzed that song. Just the groove was undeniable. So other than that, I really did not question any deeper.
It could have been about anything, huh? It was pretty much the groove.
It wasn't about pot roast.
Well, no, it wasn't about pot roast. That doesn't sing as well.
It wasn't about pot roast. Hey, but you know what goes really good with pot roast?
What?
Jalapeno cornbread.
What's going on, Tony Walsh?
Hello, Craig Schuster. How you doing, babe?
I'm doing great, man. I just talked to 3 members of Stout about how we used to play Jalapeno Cornbread all the time and how awesome it was. So my first question to you is, do you remember when we debuted Jalapeno Cornbread? Can you put a year or a date on it?
2002?
Good one. Yes, you are correct. It was 2002. It was right before we recorded the On the Rocks album.
Excellent. And I have a few brain cells still intact. I'm proud of myself.
There you go. You're right there at the median.
Sweet. Subpar is always,
right.
There's always a good thing, right?
Yeah, you're not breaking the curve. That's not happening. So.
Right. Well, lowered expectations are the key to success, sir.
Okay, if that's what you say. Well, I'm raising my expectations for the second question, the hard question, which is, do you remember what Jalapeno Cornbread was about, what it means, or why it was written?
Well, I don't really recall exactly why, but I can make an educated guess based on my memory.
Sure, tell me a story.
As far as the lyrics, I can remember on the surface, jalapeno cornbread, talking about mama, you're getting too big for your bed. Sounds like a coming of age story to me. Now, as far as the rest of the story goes, it sounds like in that coming of age that, you start to figure out that maybe you want to chase down a lady or two and, do as boys and girls do.
Keep it clean, Tony Walsh.
Hey, look, I feel like I've kept it as clean as I possibly can.
All right, then.
And so it's about, chasing a lady.
Okay.
In my opinion.
A wise man once told me, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. So I won't. You can believe what you want. But I will tell you this. My mother does make a great corn casserole and sometimes puts jalapenos in it. And also, the reason why I wrote the song is that Robert wanted to cover Hate to Lose Your Lovin' by Little Feat. And I thought it was too obscure. People would probably not recognize it and think we wrote it anyway. So I just wrote something that I thought sounded kind of like it. And it turned out to be a great groove, turned out to be a great song. And when I spit out the lyrics, jalapeno cornbread, it just fit. It fit a lot better than pot roast. So that's what we went with. And we ended up getting to record it finally for the Goodnight Junior album. I got all the original Stout members back: Matt Oliver on guitar, Rory Gardner on bass, Tony Walsh on percussion, and Robert Cam on drums. I played some trumpet with Gary Topper on saxophone, and we even got Danny Childress and Freddie Kirksey from Silkies to sing some backups. So enjoy. Remember, one of the best ways that you can support your favorite musicians is to purchase their music. You can get it on Amazon, iTunes, or CD Baby. And thank you very much. We'll see you next week.